As I'm walking around reading, one of the things that I'm finding is that although the East Germans weren't in real want of anything, there was really nothing for them to buy. They had their basic necessities, but didn't really have anything leisure or extra to buy. And in 1974, we had these lovely outfits in our catalog. So nice ladies' outfits, which don't look that much different from what our girls wear today. Then we had our gentlemen, very sporting. I think that this gentleman looks like how my grandfather dressed in the 1970s. And here are some more ladies. These are more maybe women that were going to work, but possibly just women's fashion. You notice that at this point there are two women wearing pants, which was kind of a new thing in the 70s. All sorts of products, their water bottles, all sorts of things. This little display is called Thousands of Small Things. Shoelaces, shoe shining kit. Look, an egg slicer, the red one, that's very similar to what we still use today. Egg cups, light bulbs, candles, and the electronics of the day. I had a Sony Walkman that looked a lot like this one. Headphones like this are coming back, so everything that's old is new again. This is interesting. It says, goods for the few. A general shortage of goods transforms unspectacular items into real rarities when they obtained desirable items such as ketchup or tropical fruits, items of clothing, records, or even toilet paper. Shopkeepers did not sell them to just anybody. Storing these goodies under the counter, the lucky retailer reserved them for relatives and friends. The more cunning businessmen even held them back for those customers who could do them a favor in return. Nice motorbike to ride to work or school. It's continuing on. So, the whole thing was that everybody worked in society, everybody had a job, and based on how you did in school was how it was determined what kind of job that you were able to get. So here is a children's television show. Kind of reminds me of, if you've ever seen those Davy and Goliath cartoons, it kind of reminds me of that. Another kids show. This is from the Olympics. That's kind of neat. This is an advertisement for the Olympics. And it looks like this is what a movie theater looked like. Really similar to what movie theaters looked like in the United States before we went to these huge multi-cinema, multi-theater complexes. All right, this is a typical preschool classroom or like a daycare. I see the furniture hasn't really changed much. We still have cubbies like these. And cots for sleeping. Toys. This is cute. This is like a little train that kids would pretend they're on a train, and a little play kitchen. And then this was some type of learning device so that they could learn words and maybe some numbers. Looks like there's a lot of different colored blocks, and some have letters, some have numbers, and some have dots. Some of our wrestlers and athletes will recognize this. Oops, my finger's not blocking it. We have a first place, a second place, and a third place. And this is something from the Olympics. Pretty cool. All right, what have we got behind us? I'm gonna open the doors and make sure we're good. We have a closet with some of the types of equipment that they would need for the Olympics and for sporting. We've got some skis, we've got some type of sled. Table tennis was a really big thing. And you can see that, right in the background here was the TV tower. And some of these buildings that I've shown you are still here. Again, sports were part of everyday life for all age groups. With teachers putting students through their paces, they soon identified talented children to attend the special sports schools. Adults were encouraged to keep sweating well into retirement. Well, I'm certainly sweating here on a 93-degree day. This strengthened the collectivism and encouraged productivity. So even when you retired, you were expected to do some type of physical activity every single day. Kind of wish somebody had made me do physical activity every single day. Now we're moving from everyday life to looks like the world of work. So maybe none of you may have seen a telephone like this with a dial. So they're speaking to me in German, and the only word I understood was Deutsch, which means German. So this was the desk of power. The everyday face of power was more boring than terrifying. Functionaries in creased suits, tired, unshaved, and gray, with a cigarette in the corner of their mouths and a full briefcase under their arm. They turned from meeting to meeting. Their life revolved around their desks. Decisions were made, passed on via the gray telephone, and recorded in top secret files. The functionaries were mere cogs in the machinery of power, cheerless, anonymous, and efficient. So from a young age, the goal was to get people involved with the Communist Party. And so even young people were encouraged to join these functionaries. And the functionaries and curriculum included propaganda and the FGY made the attempt to cater to youth's interest, organizing balls, a poetry association, a nature association, choirs, and even trips. Politics often seemed very distant, and so they were ingraining them into the world of the communism, and they did this by organizing fun events that they'd want to go to, so that it didn't seem like we're teaching you about the Communist Party. It just seems like we're giving you something fun to do. I'm not sure if I made it clear or if you know this from your history classes, but the East Germans were not happy to have the Russians there or the Soviets there to take over their country. And it wasn't supremely successful because the East Berliners were not happy to have them there, not happy to have them trying to dictate their lives. It made their lives very difficult. They couldn't travel without specific permission. They couldn't leave East Germany. What I've walked into is an interrogation room. So if you had done something that the Soviets were unhappy with, you may be interrogated in a big or more small room like that. That may be very intimidating. So all sorts of memorabilia, pictures.